Hi Libra, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly horoscope for the month of May. And this is a very reflective month for all of us because several planets will be retrograding. So to begin with, Pluto, which is the planet of death and rebirth and has been one of the key players of the year because Saturn and Pluto both met up at the world axis in Capricorn on January 12th. They met up at 22 degrees of Capricorn, and they had not met up in the sky for over 500 years. And that's a planet of death and rebirth, a cycle rather, and a metamorphosis, and on a mass level because they met on the world axis. And for you, this repair and renovation and restructuring has been occurring in the house of home and family since the beginning of the year. It's a lot of restructuring of your roots and your foundation. Now, with Pluto retrograding, that's one of the key players. We have several others this month. So the big deal for you is that Venus, for all of us, but for you, is the ruler of your sign. Venus is going to retrograde on May 13th until June 25th. And Venus retrogrades only once every 18 months. So it doesn't retrograde very frequently. The last time it actually retrograded was in the fall of 2018. It retrograded initially in Scorpio, and then it's stationed direct at a late degree of your sign. So, this is not something that's very frequent, and because it rules your sign, and because it is a personal planet, it's what we love, it's what we value, it's how we create, it's how we earn money. And it's in the sign of Gemini, which for you is the ninth house. That's the house of belief systems. It's the house of faith. It's the house of what gives us hope and optimism. It's higher learning. It's what expands our knowledge. It's the house of spirituality. So in many ways, with Venus retrograding there, you may, this might be a time for you to consider taking classes because it is the house of higher learning. It may be a time of thinking of different belief systems, maybe, things that give you some value in your life. Because if ever there was a time like this year, it makes you search for things that matter, I think. So learning different types of ways of thinking. The ninth house is the house of promotion and publicity. So maybe you're rethinking how you can promote yourself, especially if you're in your own business. But it is a big deal because it doesn't happen very frequently. So, that retrograde we're going to feel strongly. And we have Saturn's going to retrograde 2 days before on May 11th. And Saturn is the planet that structures our goals, also the other key player of the year that met up with Pluto on January 12th. And Saturn is the planet of responsibility and of karma. And it briefly entered Aquarius on March 21st. And it will remain in that sign until July 2nd. And then it will re-enter Capricorn until December 17th. So for you right now, it's in your fifth house of romance and creativity and self-expression. And it might be that perhaps somebody came into your life that's significant, or that maybe you're feeling a lack of fun or creativity or romance, and that's an area that you're reevaluating. And so it's retrograding on the 11th, and then it re-enters your house of home and family on July 2nd. So that's an area where you're restructuring home, family, all of those areas until December 17th, at which time Saturn will re-enter your house of romance and creativity for the next couple of years. So you really want to evaluate how you can bring fulfillment to your life. And Jupiter retrogrades this month as well. It retrogrades on May 14th, and it's at 27 degrees of Capricorn. That's also in your house of home, family, and real estate. That's real estate. That's where all these planets at the beginning of the year, there was a huge stellium of planets in Capricorn in January that all fell in your house of home. So this is where you're going through a lot of restructuring and building and renovating and repair. So we have a powerful supermoon in Scorpio that takes place on May 7th, and that falls in your house of money and income and how you earn money and what you value. And it's a pretty contentious full moon because it's opposing Mercury in Taurus. So Mercury is information, and there could be, a war of words in some ways with people. And Mercury is forming a square to Mars, the planet of combat. So there is definitely combative energy, but you may find, because, full moon is a fruition of something, maybe that you get some money for something you've been working on. Money comes to you. And secondly, later in the month, we're going to have a new moon in Gemini that falls on May 22nd. And that's going to fall in your ninth house of belief systems, of publicity, of higher learning. And again, that might be an area, maybe you're studying a new course or something just to enlighten yourself. But anyway, I wish you a lot of luck and thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.